You doing? Let's see here. I am normally I wouldn't even go live to address this, but I see a lot of comments in there and people that I know have responded. And I'm talking about the Trump rally yesterday, and this is a really heated conversation, and I think it draws itself. Just looking at my text here, draws itself around ethnic lines as the Trump campaign has been. You typically get, people that are of a minority, but you got some black Trump supporters too. And I'm going to be honest, my son is a Trump supporter, and we get into heated conversations. He lives here in our house, and but I respect the fact that he has his own mind, and he says he supports Trump and his friends support Trump. And I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm not going to tell you what you can do. You are grown, but I'm also not going to say you got to get out of my house. You don't vote the way I would have you vote. No, not at all. And a lot of things I don't align with the Democratic Party. At times I have been a registered Republican. I've been registered Democrat. I think right now I'm registered independent, right? Because I don't think that the two candidates that we have available to us are either good candidates we should be voting for. But that aside, so I asked a question, and my question was, I am no okay. There's a term for it. There's a term for it. So let me get it right. It's a person that would forensic scientists or things like that. A person who would study the physics and trajectory of bullets. They often work with like crime scene investigations. And if you've ever seen like the crime scene things where they have like a string and it goes, if it went through this way and it went through this way, the path, the flight trajectory of the projectile, the bullet, would go here. And I asked some people just simply asking this morning because I didn't know and I wanted to know. Um, and people were like, "Oh, I can't believe you're saying this. It is a terrible event." And one lady was like, "How can you dare you bring this in?" I'm like, "I'm just asking an event." I stated my post with, "I have a question. Can someone help me understand?" And as opposed to understand, people immediately said, "How dare you do that, Trump? Somebody tried to kill him." And I think I'm going to be honest here. My background is in behavior modification. I went to college for this. I got my degree in behavioral psychology. So I know a little something about this. But if you want to get the sympathy vote, you have to appear as a victim. And oh my God. And I'm going to play the video for those who haven't seen it. I think if you haven't seen it, you haven't watched TV or you just haven't turned on TV. So I'm just going to play that clip because the clip is relevant to what I'm asking. So to get back to my initial question is the bullet pierced his right ear, if I understand, or his temple or something. There were a volley of gunshots. Someone in the comments did say that those other shots, because my initial question before that was, if there's a lot of shots, how come nobody behind him got uh, I'm not helping him trend, Ja. I got Josh. She said, "Why are you helping him trend?" And I'm not. I'm not trying to help him trend, but I'm trying to answer the questions because I believe if I don't address the questions, then I'm complicit in saying that their statements are right about what the question I was asking, and I'm not. I'm not. I'm just trying to clarify that. That's why I'm talking about it. I ain't trying to help that man trend. Trust me. And if those who don't know, to be clear of them, I don't plan on voting for him this year. So let's just put that out there. However, all I'm asking is if his right ear was clipped and there was closely, what was it, 100 so people behind him, then why didn't somebody there get hit with that projectile, right? So the path of the bullet comes here, he turns, clips his ear. There was a bunch of people behind him. How come none of them fell? And I'm looking at the video that was, people say, well, it was an altered video. Okay, it's on Fox, CBS, CNN, ESPN, BBC. They're showing it all over the same video. So they all altered it. I mean, there's like, we get into this whole cognitive dissonance thing. But what I want to ask, side of that, is if nobody was injured, where did the person? They said first they said six people died, and then four were injured. Then they revised it. They said four people died. Then they said two. Now they're saying two people died, and I guess that's including the shooter. So my question then becomes, who was the other person that died? And somebody in the comments said, I think it was Dan Whitehead, who I know personally, I've met him in person. He said, out of respect for the families, David, they don't want to release that. I get it. But I think they had the shooter's information, including his high school graduation video, up on the internet, up on the media in 30 minutes. Out of respect for the family, I would be able to say the family's been notified of something, but they just glossed over it. Like the person who was innocently there. And to be honest, if you weren't the shooter at that bystander, at that rally, I don't care if you were supporting Trump or not. You were an innocent bystander. You did not deserve to be shot or have your life taken. So I think it's a disservice to the family to say, well, screw them. We're not even going to mention the fact that there was an innocent. Who's the person that was killed? If somebody was killed, okay. So I just want to look at this video real quick so you guys can tell me. Just look at the video real quick.
Couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened.
Hold. When you're ready, on you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to the stair.
Stair, get ready. Stair, get ready.
You ready?
Down. Down.
Are we good?
Shooter's down.
Shooter's down. Are we good to move?
Good to move.
We're clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
go. Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay. Watch your down.
Watch out.
Wait.
Okay. That was the clip. That's a clip that's been seen around the world at this point. So he's just survived an attempted assassination attempt, and he's like, "Let me get my shoes," okay. And then he does the fist. We've typically called this Black Power because of the fist that was raised during the 1932 Olympics. If you remember the gentleman, I forget his name, who had his gold medal revoked for doing exactly this when he won, right? So Trump is doing this like, yeah. And then as he turns, they cut it. I noticed they cut it on the video as he's moving, as opposed to having his hand around the agent for support, he does one of these numbers. Now, okay, so I don't know what y'all want to call this, but when I was growing up, that was what the Nazis did. Where they were, "Hi!" Right? I'm sorry. That's just a fact. So his hand is out there like that, and we've seen him do that shit before. So I'm just asking, that aside, how come everybody was just taking pictures in the background? There's bullets ringing out, and maybe even if somebody said, well, one bullet was aimed at him, the other volley of bullets that were heard were Secret Service neutralizing the shooter. Okay. I once again don't know calibers. The first shot sounded like the same caliber of the other shots, but okay, I don't know. I'm not an expert, so great. He got off one shot. Secret Service zoned in on him, the snipers, because they were in position, and they took out, neutralized the threat. Okay. That bullet that missed him, where'd it go? Where did it go? I'm asking for a friend. Where'd the bullet go? Nobody seems to can answer that. And I'm just getting people that was in my comments going, how dare you ask these questions? How dare I ask these questions? Wait a minute. And so I put in one thing. I said, my experience. And they said, another person said, how do you utilize race during such a tumultuous time or something like that? I'm like, wait a minute, for your own propaganda. I said, wait a minute, I had to put a picture up there of that came out the Trump camp of AI pictures. They had to use AI pictures of Trump with black voters and black women and black men and all this stuff, and it was proved it was a fake. So don't talk about, I'm not using these pictures as propaganda. I'm simply asking a question. And, but it just goes to show the divisiveness of what he has put in motion. Is that people said this country's always been like this, but there was just undercurrents, and he brought it and made it okay. So now everybody, is a martyr, and I think once again people are seeing Project 2025, that the Heritage Foundations created, that was somebody in his camp. All this stuff, he wasn't trending well. We need to do something to make it really seem to get the tide to turn, and this obviously has turned the tide. I saw some videos of people literally saying, I was on the fence, but he's really went through so much. I'm going to vote for him. Really? Because somebody shot at him, you know. But I just wanted to put that out there and see what you guys thought. I wanted to address that. This is social media. We all have a voice. One guy told me I was the dumbest fuck ever. Yes. And normally I just laughed. And normally I wouldn't respond. But I was like, hey, buddy. And I looked at his profile. I was like, he's not even a friend of mine. How's he even seeing my page, right? He's not even a friend of mine. But I was like, why don't you take a long walk off a short pear? I was going to say something else, but I was like, I'm not going to even engage with you. But because I asked a question, I was dumb for asking a question. What does that say about the mindset of people to really say, how dare you? How dare you? And I know he probably wanted to call me a nigger. I know he probably did, right? But that wouldn't have been politically correct. So I'm just saying, asking a question. If he was shot, where did the bullet go? And why haven't we honored the family? Because I'm sure by this time, the family who the person was who was killed, according to the media, I'm sure they've been notified by this time. Why is there nothing? Oh, we're just going to respect their privacy. Okay. And with the shooter, because he was shot, he doesn't get the same respect. But his family doesn't deserve to say, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't interview the father. They don't went after all the different members. So come on now. That's just like the double standards. Like, you know, Barack Obama he had to have a spotless record, but Trump has been convicted of all these felonies, but he's still the Republican presidential nominee for the highest post in the country. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't put blinders on for what's going on. And this is just my opinion. This is my page. And like I said, if people don't like it, this is social media. It's okay. You can, if you're a friend of mine and you don't agree with my values, doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. We disagree. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can unfriend me. It's okay. I ain't gonna hate you. I don't want any ill will for you. It's just my thoughts. This is social media. It's social, and we're just all talking on it. We all have our different beliefs. So I'm just asking that. That's all I had to say about that. I got to go back to work. Yeah, so you can let me know in the comments what you guys think. You know, uh, I think it was Malcolm X. So when a person resorts to using profanity, it's because they don't have the intelligence to come up with another word to express their emotions. And just addressing the guy that was in the comments. I didn't delete his comment either. I just left it there. That said I was the dumbest for asking a question. Wow. Really? Okay. So that's all I got to say about that. I will talk to you.